My first SaaS, iCodeThis, made over $48,000 in revenue in its first year. And in this video, I'm going to show you 10 lessons I learned along the way. I hope that this will inspire you and it will help you simplifying your process in case you want to build your first SaaS, as you can learn from my mistakes and the lessons I learned along the way. But before that, let me show you what I've built. iCodeThis is a platform where developers can learn faster by getting out of tutorial help and actually building projects. They get a new coding challenge every day where they can put their knowledge into practice in order to increase their skills. We also have an amazing community on Discord where developers help each other in order to achieve their goals. A little bit about my background. I've been a developer since 2013. And although I went to college, I can say that most of the things I use now are the things that I've learned on my own. So you can say that I'm a self-taught developer. I worked as a freelancer for a few years, and then in 2017 I was hired as a React developer for a company here in Romania working remotely. After 2 years, I quit my job in order to become a content creator. I started with a blog, and later that year I started this YouTube channel. Along the way, I launched an ebook, I launched a course, I coached people. So you could say I did it all. Well, almost all. Building a SaaS was next in the list. So that's how iCodeThis started, and here are the 10 lessons I learned along the way. The first lesson is to get an MVP out as fast as possible. Test the idea before spending months building a project, because it might just flop. Call it a weekend project or spend at most a few weeks building it, but then give it to users and let them give you feedback. Do people really care about it? Is it really solving a problem worth building? Get feedback fast. How to test an idea? Well, you can build a simple landing page where you describe the problem you're trying to solve and have an input field where people can enter their email and you can see how many people sign up. You can post this landing page on social media, in communities, in other groups. You can even pay ads to get visitors to the website to see if the conversion is high. In my case with iCodeThis, I started by posting the daily challenges on Twitter and asking developers to turn the designs into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in order to practice. When I saw that this has potential, I started building a website where people could sign up and submit the projects on the website, and then slowly added features one at a time. But first, I made sure that this is an interesting idea that's worth pursuing. The second lesson is that users don't care about the tech stack you're using. Of course, we like to complain about which tech stack is the best, and we like to argue a lot as developers on Twitter. But in reality, the users don't care what you're using. So make sure you're using the tech stack that you're liking the most and that can help you build a project. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. User feedback is important. Don't just trust your gut feeling because you might be wrong. So instead, ask your users about what features they want next to be implemented. You can do this simply by having a Google form where users can answer a set of questions you prepare. Make sure that there are not a lot of questions and that they are very specific, because otherwise they might just ramble a lot and you might not learn something from their answer. Build a strong community. It's very important to have people who become advocates for your product. And you can do that by building a community and you being an integrated part of the community. Be there to help members of the community, and that way you show that you care. And in exchange, you'll see that members will start to care as well and they'll become advocates for your product. Of course, be patient because this might take a while. Network with other people and find win-win collaborations. Figure out how you can provide value to other people to help you spread the news about the platform. This can be in a form of a revenue share where whenever they bring you members, they get a cut of the profits. We did this on iCodeThis with a few creators and it helped us speed up the growth of the platform. Almost 20% of the members we have now came through these collaborations. Sales work, but maybe don't overdo it. I saw the biggest spikes in sales when we were offering a discount for the product and we were running it for a limited time of 3 days or 7 days. And that's very good, but the tricky part is that when the sale is over, you see a drastic drop in sales. And this is a bit tricky because on one hand, it works. You get a lot of revenue, but on the other hand, if you overdo it, people will start to expect another sale in order to purchase. So in the periods when you don't have a sale running, you might not see much sales. Speaking of sales, we have a sale right now on iCodeThis. You can use code START20 when you sign up to get 20% off your purchase. And there are only 50 slots available. See what I did? I'm running a sale and I'm testing to see if this works. In our case, a lifetime offer worked much better than a subscription model. We tried both of them, and by far, whenever we were running a lifetime offer, we were getting the most sales and the biggest revenue. In fact, we were running a subscription model a few weeks ago, and we only had 2 sales worth $20 MRR in 3 days. Compare that to an average day where we were getting 2 sales of a lifetime offer. That's a really big difference. And I think this is because of 2 reasons. People are getting tired of subscriptions. And also there's a psychological effect where whenever people want to invest in themselves, they feel good. So if you pay once to have access for life on a platform, you feel good. You made an investment in yourself. But when you pay monthly and you don't act upon your investment, you start to feel bad every time there's a new payment which you have to pay. So you'll end up canceling the subscription. At least this was our experience trying the both models. Speaking of money, make sure to save money for the rainy days. I suggest you have a buffer of at least 3 to 6 months of expenses before starting to take profit out of the company. In our case, this is what happened when we switched to a subscription model and our revenue dropped. I could afford to test the change, which was quite a big change, because I had a buffer of a few months of savings. Of course, it's not nice to see a drop in revenue, but it's better to protect yourself by having a savings. This is another big one, but don't offer too much for free, especially if you want to turn the project into a real business and you'll need money for salaries and expenses. We still have a pretty generous free tier, but my goal is to use that in order to have more people on the platform that will spread the news and get, more people on the platform. But if you have many things that are free and only a few features that are for paid members, you might risk not having enough revenue. How we are trying to solve this is by starting to add more and more features for pro members, like courses and other projects and roadmaps and mentorship for those who really want to speed up their learning journey. Last but definitely not the least, the journey is easier when you're not alone. This is why when I started iCodeThis and I saw potential in it, I hired one of my friends to help me build the backend side of the project, because that's not my strong suit. I was focusing on the front end side and on marketing, and having someone be there whenever things get bumpy was real help. Probably being on my own, I would have quit a long time ago. Also, 9 months down the road, when we had more revenue, I hired someone full-time to take the front-end side from me, at least the most part of it, so I can focus on the marketing and content creation side. I'm not saying this is for everyone because I've seen many collaborations and partnerships not working out well. I even had my fair share of those in the past. But in this case, with iCodeThis, it seemed to have been working really well. And for that, I'm very grateful. I hope this video was useful for you and it will inspire you and help you on your journey to building your first SaaS. If you're still watching, let me know in the comments below by writing the "and gang." And I'll see you in the next video.